Hello, everyone. Intelligent risk readers, authors, peer reviewers. This is Steve Lindo. You know me well by my name on the publications. And here with me is Carl Densem. We are the co-editors of Intelligent Risk. And we're here just briefly to mention to you that we are running a second iteration of the fundraising campaign that we began last year to help support the development costs for future issues and future delivery of the Intelligent Risk suite of publications. So if you're not so familiar with the campaign, it really dates back to a couple of years ago when we started to bring a lot of improvements to our publication, the expanding content and the increasing audience. So we started a GoFundMe with the intention of raising $5,000. We already had a good start in 2025, but here we are looking for the opportunity to raise some additional funds. And these funds are going to go towards us preparing the quarterly Insights publication, which, as you can imagine, there's quite some substantial development and design costs that go with it, and also looking for new ways to be able to deliver the various forms of content that so far you've been able to see. So we're not asking, obviously, for very large sums of money. What we really are looking for is two things. One is a small amount of funding to be able to help us with these development costs. And secondly, a show of support from you, our community. You are the reason why Carl and I put in our time and efforts and the other contributors to our publications. We believe that what we and our community have to say is valuable and something that you yourselves, in your turn, you will be able to contribute to. So I'm going to hand over now to Carl. Carl's going to talk a little bit more about what it is that we've been producing in recent times and what's ahead, so you have a better understanding of what our fundraising is going to produce. Over to you, Carl.
Thank you, Steve. Hi, everybody. I sometimes forget, and I know I'm sure you do too, Steve, how far we've come in the 4 years or so we've been co-editors together. Back then, there were no capstone articles. There was far few articles. In fact, there was no peer review or very limited review. And less deliberate design choices, less marketing of articles. We had no discussion group at that time. And, you run through the list and you realize how far we've come, even though I think you and I talking every week, these have felt like very gradual changes. And we hope the underlying motivation for us is to have good conversations about risks between practitioners. So creating a forum for that. We have a LinkedIn discussion group where our authors are invited to participate, and you as a reader can request to join that group. I think there's almost 400 people in there. So that is fantastic. That's a way to access the knowledge of our authors directly. And because of all these changes we've made as well, Steve, a lot of our authors come in the door and stay. They become peer reviewers after we meet them on our quarterly contributors call. They like what we're doing so much that they're also willing to give up some of their time to help other authors come in the door and improve their insights. And so, it took us a while, but we've realized we now have a community of people who are committed to this and want to improve it and are very willing to give us, strong feedback, which is, how lucky are we? So it's not a two-man operation. It's not a two-man plus the premier staff involved. It is really a much, much larger effort now. And we've coined on to that. And, we want to give it some direction. One thing that the funding has directly helped us do is to create the deep dive. So we have the quarterly insights publication, but now we also have the deep dive, which is a longer form and more researched article that we think really complements what we already do very well. And you can find all of these in our article directory as well. So if you're seeing us for the first time, you can go back in history, you can read, you can filter those for only articles about AI and get caught up right away. So we really try to think about how to involve you as much as possible. I'll hand it back to you, Steve.
Great summary, Carl. Well, what we really wanted to say is that if you know our publications intimately, then we're not telling you anything you don't know. If you're somebody who's perhaps just sampling intelligent risk for the first time, we hope that you recognize that the kind of enterprise where we are combining a very broad scale and scope of talent into a readable and digestible form of delivery. This is a unique enterprise. It is absolutely a grassroots type of organization. Carl and I, we are really just the conductors of an orchestra in which you yourselves, either as readers or authors or peer reviewers or all of the above, you are the players. And we hope that you feel that you have a stake in the future of our publication and that you have a way to be able to show that not only with your readership, but also providing us with a very small or whatever you're comfortable with form of donation. If what we are saying resonates with you, in the body of the post that includes the link to this video, you'll see a way to be able to click on the GoFundMe. So please go ahead, take a look at that. Consider yourselves whether or not you feel that this is an enterprise that you benefit from and that you're willing to support. And if you do, we are very grateful not only for the contributions that you may choose to make, but also simply for having you as our community, as our audience. This is what makes our efforts worthwhile, to know that we're reaching fellow risk professionals and helping you to be successful in your careers. Any last words from you, Carl?
No, I hope people join the community at whatever donation level they're comfortable with. We can always do with more voices and new perspectives, and you know, we are also thinking about how to broadcast your message to the LinkedIn group, and that's something always on our minds. So if you want to reach a broad audience and get feedback from readers, this is the place to do it.
Great. Well, thank you. So we'll see you either in the next issue or in one of our webinars or one of our interviews with the capstone authors. Either way, it's a pleasure seeing you, and hopefully our message today will have resonated and you'll be willing to support us. Thanks so much.